I prepared something interesting for today. And in the meanwhile, we will also check how rusty is my English, because I will be recording this and no editing, no post-processing, no nothing. So let's just do it. And now I'm talking to another camera. How did I do this? Of course, I'm using Open Broadcaster software. Thank you guys, your software is amazing. However, I didn't use my normal keyboard because it really makes this clicky sound. Let's see. Wake up mouse. Hello. And here I can type. So this is my keyboard. So the OBS software proposes a very interesting way of switching between scenes, and that is using keyboard shortcuts. And I'm sure, fairly sure, because I didn't actually Google it, there are many solutions for something similar to what I did. I assigned some keyboard shortcuts, but I didn't stop there. I went maybe a step further or 2 steps further by building my own console keyboard, control panel, call it whatever you like. It's this guy here. And well, let's switch scenes, I guess. Yep, hello, I'm here. Hello, another camera in the middle. This should be scene number 2. And scene number 2 is a window. I didn't really know what to put there, so I put a chess side. And these are the 2 cameras. Hello. And last but not least, this is my desktop. This is the source code or a partial source code of this little guy here. So what exactly is this plastic box? Yeah, sure. It has 2 things in one single box. It has this corner here, this, and this is a keyboard, actually a USB keyboard, an ordinary USB keyboard, you may say. It's a human interface device. And then there is this corner here, which is an ESP32 with just 1 button. With these I can switch scenes. With this guy here I can do this. You may notice that red thingy there, that's an LED matrix, and it's just annoying when it's on. It makes me into an angel or something. So I need to turn it off. Of course, it's an IoT device, and being an IoT device also means that it can be controlled through the internet. So I don't just get up and turn it on or turn it off 8 o'clock. And that also means that opening a browser is a bit lame, opening my phone is a bit lame, so I made a shortcut button for it. And whenever I press this button, the LED matrix's state gets toggled. That's what the ESP32 does. It's an ESP32 with an OLED display. It's this camera now, I guess. Here, like this. It also shows that broadcaster for IoT keyboard, a URL to my website. Okay, let's see the keyboard itself. So this keyboard here is an 80Tiny 85 and an Arduino Nano, an 80 mega 328p. The thing is that, as you may know, it's the 80Tiny board is actually rather buried here, because otherwise it would just fall apart. It doesn't really have pins. I mean, if you have USB enabled, then 2 pins are gone, VCC ground and the reset pin, and you are left with basically nothing, 3 pins. So I made it into a serial, and the UART is communicating with the Arduino Nano here, this guy, which in turn looks at the pull-ups, and thus I can switch scenes like this with the press of a button. Let's open it. One of my colleagues said that, yeah, sure, yeah, a 3D printed box would have been actually beautiful. Well, sorry, no printer, but I sure made it as pleasant as possible. There are no screws. For the wires here, I left some extra wires just in case. There are 2 wires here and 2 wires here just in case, and made the whole thing just pop open. I can let's go to this camera. Yeah, I can just pull out the ESP32 like this. It's positioned so that this little window provides the best view to the OLED display. It also allows for a USB cable to be plugged in. Let's see, do I have one at hand? Yes. In case I want to program it without actually taking the whole thing apart. Of course, the Arduino Nano is also there, and I can use a cable to just plug in, and it more or less fits. And then the I'll just unplug it now. So no more buttons. The 80Tiny itself is, well, I had to make sure that the whole thing doesn't just fall apart. So it's like this. It's here, and this is just a dummy structural element, and this guy here is the USB guy. Now it's worth mentioning that 97% of the code flash, which is 6 kilo actually, is used with this this scratch. I can't say I feel comfortable with that. It's a lot. It's a lot. 97% for any code flash is a lot, and it doesn't really give a margin of any sorts. It's not like a comfortable or tightly squeezed margin. It's just not enough. I mean, what do I do here? Let's check out the source code. So it has hopefully booted, and I can just switch to scene 5, which should be the desktop view. Hello. And let's go into the source code a bit. What do I do here? Setup, nothing interesting. Now here we are getting into something, because I noticed that the OBS wouldn't apply my hotkeys unless inside the window, or unless doing some dark magic here. And the dark magic is that all the modifiers, the Control Alt Control Alt Shift GUI and such modifiers are applied sequentially. So what I do here is go bit by bit, check for the modifier, and if the modifier is there in the desired scan code plus modifier pair, then I apply it, send a bit of a delay, and go on. And thus I don't press in a single keystroke, just Control Alt Shift F12. No, it's actually as I said it. I press Control, I wait a bit. I press Alt, I wait a bit. I press Shift, I wait a bit, and then the button itself, the key F12 in this case, the key itself, and then I release all the buttons by sending keystroke 0 with no modifiers. Otherwise, it wouldn't work outside of the OBS window. Although with my keyboard, the regular, this clicky one, there was no issue. So Control Shift whatever, it just works. With ATtiny it wouldn't, and because I'm a lazy person, as you can see, I'm a really lazy person. Instead of hitting 4 keys in a row, I build a box, I build switches into it and make it a USB keyboard. So I'm really lazy, and I didn't dig into what could possibly go wrong at the library level. I mean, I've seen digistamps. Is it called digistamp or something like that? Digispark, digistamp AVR boards, so something like that. I've seen that the mouse library has some interesting aspects to it, but like for the clicks, there is some ambiguity there. What's exactly going on under the hood? But well, it's free software, and I really appreciate that it is there in the first place. That said, I often leave my computer to do some overnight logging. And what do you know? There is this operating system maker software giant that likes to reboot my computer without my approval. So what did I do? This is a mouse, believe it or not. This is a mouse. A USB mouse, which, when connected, like this, it's a mouse, can do 2 things. I either send clicks like crazy, and I no longer have the USB keyboard to, I no longer have this to just switch scenes. But I need to, so let's go old school here, like this. Let's place the mouse here and do this. And now I actually can't really use my mouse. I mean, it still works, but it does this squarey thingy. So the main idea is that whenever I switch my pseudo mouse, my ATtiny mouse on, it does this crazy thing, squares, and it keeps moving the mouse. This is the active camera. It keeps moving the mouse pointer so that the computer is never idle. So there is no forced update. And I don't lose the overnight logs, because not everyone is a well-versed digging into said software giant's operating system to make the right API call to notify the operating system to not make a forced reboot because, the start menu is being recolored or something, and there is a new ad to show there for the world's best browser using the world's best search engine, or whatever they insist on putting there. So this is the mouse I use. I have a similar box at my workplace. Maybe I'll just film it. It has the same ATtiny inside it with an RFID reader, pretty similar to this one, but at the company we are using the 125 kilo version, and this is the 13 megahertz version. So what happens inside the box? Whenever I go by with my company tag, it logs into my computer. Its sensitivity isn't that good, so it won't get triggered just from a few centimeters. Really, it just won't happen without me actually putting my wallet onto the box. It's not like in a mall walking by those weird anti-theft pylons or something. So this is a toy I have, this mouse, and this keyboard. Let me just plug it back like this. Okay, and there was another mouse here somewhere. There should be another mouse here. Yeah, this is the first mouse I put together. It does the same square thingy. It has the same structural issue. I mean, these little boards, do I have one at hand to not my nail is already taking apart the box. I guess Fright has spoken subconsciously. Okay, in case you don't know these boxes, I mean these little boards, they can get really tricky to hold them in place, because this is how big they are, and as you can see, their points of anchor is really in a corner, and if you don't want to put those screws in, because most of the time one does not want to put the screws in, because again, in order to program it, you want access to those pins, and it's just awkward to use so many jumpers. For example, in this keyboard, whatever happens on those pins, I don't want those pins to interfere with the programming procedure. So it's really a pita to fix, to mount these into a box, because I don't like to use screws. So it's always something like this involved, making sure that the development board stays in place more or less, at least that the connections survive, plugging in a USB connector. So these are my most recent toys. Unfortunately, they have no use for astronomy, so there's that. But this is the first mouse I made. Okay, so I told you my secret about sending the... Oh, I have the switch now. About sending the keystrokes actually as a sequence rather than a simple key press with all the modifier bits. It's actually a sequence, and the ATtiny receives it via serial, and it's something like I put this together. I'll publish the source code because it's really no big deal. It's echo. I can make it just echo. I can send a stroke by specifying a hex ASCII pair of well, a scan code and a modifier bit field, and then I can make it a sequence. So this is with the capital S, with the uppercase S, just a stroke, and then with the lowercase s, it's actually a long sequence. It's like I put a human inside the box. It presses a button, then waits a bit, then the next key is pressed and held down, and then the next one and the next one, all the way up to the well, Control Shift Alt and like a function key. Okay. Do I have anything else to add to this? It's been 20 minutes. They say that that is the limit of our attention span. Well, again, thank you guys for making these open source, these available tools, these toys for us to play with. Since I actually work with microcontrollers in an R&D, it's really a bliss to work with stuff that does its job on the turn of a key, and one doesn't have to go through all the ceremony to like configure a monstrous XML file to just compose a hello world or something. So thank you guys, and again, OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got inspired, my source code is going to be on my website, and my website should be available. Is it visible? Not really. It's you obviously know my website if you follow my YouTube. So thank you. I guess my English is not really that rusty. I could talk for 20 minutes, so I'll stop here. Bye. Hello, mouse. Yeah, sometimes my mouse does this. Again, goodbye.